The openness to experience literature first appeared in the late 1980s, or at least that is when it first appeared with that moniker. At that time, McCrae, 1987, conducted a study finding that openness to experience is positively related to divergent thinking and creativity. 2 years later, Martindale, 1989, published an article, perhaps responding to McCrae, by saying that he believed openness to experience and creativity are essentially the same thing. McCrae published another article in 1994, probably responding to Martindale's critique in part, which said that openness to experience is essentially a personality disposition that can lead to creativity, but that it is different from creativity itself. Openness to experience is part of the Big Five personality traits originally described by McCrae and Costa in 1987. It is the disposition to be imaginative, nonconforming, and unconventional. It includes exploring multiple options, challenging assumptions, seeking different perspectives, combining different viewpoints, and actively evaluating different options. People high in the openness to experience personality trait are often more flexible and able to understand various perspectives more readily. And those people tend to be imaginative, intellectually curious, and open to trying new things. A number of different studies over a period of many years has linked openness to experience with creativity at the individual level of analysis. Given this description, it is easy to understand why openness to experience pertains to the study of polymathic approaches. Indeed, they are very similar constructs. Openness to experience is a precursor to polymathic exposure. In order to have broad, varied experiences like polymaths do, it is, of course, necessary to be somewhat open to having them to begin with. Since the initial debate in the literature regarding what openness to experience essentially is, a number of studies have been conducted which all point to the relationship between openness to experience with creativity and innovation. For example, Shane, 1995, said that openness to experience leads to more innovation, initiating new strategies, and that being open helps implement those new strategies as well. Ola Kadatan, 2011, also found empirical evidence showing a positive relationship between openness to experience and innovative behavior. Sung and Choi, 2009, found similar data. Quote, consistent with previous studies, openness to experience exhibited a significant positive effect on creative performance. Our findings offer additional empirical evidence that openness to experience enables people to move away from traditional beliefs and conventions and engage in novel and unique ways of thinking, end quote. Several other studies connected with openness to experience with improved thinking ability. For instance, Wolfrad and Pretz, 2001, found a positive correlation between openness to experience and creative thinking. McElroy and Dowd, 2007, said that individuals high in openness to experience will be more likely to pay attention to multiple influences when making decisions. And Meeg, Bedenk, Braun, and Neyer, 2012, conducted a study looking at independent inventors in Germany and found that they show higher levels of openness to experience compared to non-inventors, showing that openness to experience is linked with an ability to think in inventive and original ways. A few longitudinal studies have been conducted on openness to experience as well, showing benefits over the long term. For instance, Helson et al., 1995, did a study over time and found that levels of openness, originality, and unconventionality in people at age 21 predicted their levels of creative potential at age 27, as well as their occupational creativity at age 52. Similarly, a longitudinal study of male graduate students by Feist and Barron, 2003, found that levels of originality at age 27 predicted later lifetime awards tallied when they were 72 years old. Together, these studies point to the possibility that openness to experience can lead to a lifetime of benefits, rather than perhaps just a few instances of usefulness on occasion and specific instances, making understanding the phenomenon even more significant. And another thing, Openness to experience in individuals improves their team's performance. In addition to finding a link between openness to experience and creativity at the individual level, there is evidence that polymathic individuals help their teams to perform better. For example, a study by Shilpsand, Harold, and Shalley, 2011, found evidence for how individuals high in openness to experience can impact creativity for the teams on which they work as well. This study, quote, examined the relationship of team members' openness to experience and team creativity. Results from a study with 31 graduate student teams suggest that openness to experience is significantly related to team creativity, end quote. A number of additional studies have shown how openness to experience leads to better overall performance. For instance, McCrae and Costa 1997 showed that individuals who are open to experiences are better at absorbing information and combining unrelated information into new, useful insights. Another study by Bing and Lounsbury, 2000, showed that people high in openness to experience are better at performing in unfamiliar environments. Alternatively, one study found evidence for what can occur when individuals are low in openness to experience and how that negatively impacts performance. Quote, individuals who were low in openness, i.e. closed-minded, myopic, non-creative, narrowly focused, and highly extroverted were rated by supervisors as manifesting the lowest levels of performance. That's Burke and Witt, 2002. These two authors go on to provide further nuance on the phenomenon. Quote, among introverted workers, openness was essentially unrelated to performance. Furthermore, individuals who were low in openness and low on emotional stability were rated by supervisors as manifesting lower levels of performance than those high on emotional stability, end quote. They also found that workers low in both openness and emotional stability were rated as the weakest performers. So these authors add nuance to the study of openness to experience by considering the interplay of introversion versus extroversion and emotional stability as well. Openness to experience is also linked with other valuable skills. A couple of studies describe openness to experience as a skill itself, but also point out that it is one which enables other useful skills to emerge, such as leadership. Kickel and Newman, 2000, said that those high in openness to experience are more likely to emerge as leaders in a group, since they are more likely to initiate new ideas, ask more questions, and share their opinions more freely. Oakes, Ferris, Martocchio, Buckley, and Broach, 2001, said that openness to experience is an important quality for gaining skills or skill acquisition. Given these findings, openness to experience can be used not only in predicting performance in specific instances, but also in predicting potential career progress over the longer term.